Hi. Let's try that again. Hello everybody, it's Ginger and welcome back to another video. Today, I have a giant chalkboard and chalk markers. So today, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go over the entire plot of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone in hopefully the next hour. Because I don't have to leave for work. Hour and 15 minutes is what I have. So, we're going to get right into it. Chapter 1, you have Dumbledore. Well, it's not really that important. All it gives is that Harry's parents are dead, okay? So you have beautiful Lily and you have mid James, okay? And they're dead. They were killed by someone named Voldemort. He has no nose. That is very unfortunate. They have a baby and they name him Harry, and it's very unfortunate because Harry is the prophecy baby. I'm going into like book 5 already. But Harry basically, Voldemort goes after James and Lily because there's a prophecy about their son Harry. And basically he's like, this child is going to kill me someday. So he goes after Harry and is like, okay, I'll kill you first. Isn't that fantastic, right? So now, what happens after they're dead? We're trying to get there, but there's just so much lore. So Harry goes to the Dursleys. I'm not even going to draw them because that's how much I hate them. Harry is dropped off by two professors from Hogwarts, the headmaster, Dumbledore, and the headmistress, or like the assistant, deputy headmistress or whatever, McGonagall. She can turn into a cat, fun fact. So, he is dropped off at the Dursleys with a beautiful letter that says, they're dead. Your sister and brother-in-law are dead. Here's a child. I'm glad you're following along so far. Oh, BTW, the Dursleys, Petunia here is Lily's sister. What does this have to do with anything? This is literally chapter 1. The context, which we don't even get enough context to know, like, what's going on. I just gave you, like, half the book right here. So, Harry lives in a cupboard under the stairs. Ooh, it's just a good marker. For 11 years. Tell me if that's abuse or not. Hint, it is. Like, the Dursleys, they are not friendly. We don't like them. They are literally child abusers. So, we don't like the Dursleys. This is not them dying. This is just me saying we don't like them. I'm trying to see if this shows up on here. I'm going to move a bit back. So 11 years later, look at how that fuzzed out. I hate that. So we're going to build up to July 31st, which is Harry's birthday. Harry goes to get the mail. This mail, poor Harry, he's just like, oh my God, this is for me, because it says, Mr. H.J. Potter, number 4 Privet Drive, which is the address, covered under the stairs. So that's really depressing that they know where he lives, and which is the cupboard under the stairs. So he gets this letter, and he's holding it, and Vernon, you know, big fat Vernon, he is like, I don't like that, I'm taking this. So Vernon takes the letter. Now this is a bad idea for him, because Vernon, Petunia, and fatty old Dudley are all about to be bombarded with letters. There's owls coming in, there are letters coming through the fireplace, letters coming through the like the mail hole in the door, the mail slot. That's it. So you may be wondering, like, why is Harry, like, what's happening to Harry? Harry just loves this. He's like, he's a sassy man at this point. He's almost 11. He's like, I deserve to be sassy. Harry is like, oh my God, this is awesome. I want these letters. And the Dursleys are like, no, this is freaky. I fucking hate this, because they know that wizards and witches exist. They are something called muggles, which is non-magical folk. And they know magic exists because Lily Potter slash Evans was a muggle-born witch. There's so much going into this. Now, I'm going to save that for later. Harry's like, yeah, these letters are great. Like, why would I not love these? So, Vernon's like, no, I hate you all. Let's go to some remote private island. And by this time, it's probably like somewhere in July of 1991. Yeah, 1991. So, it's now July 30th of 1991. They're still on this island. I don't know what chapter I'm in right now, but I'm in one of them. And you know who comes banging down the door? A half giant. And you might be like, what's a half giant? And the answer is you don't want to know. And his name is Hagrid. So this half giant with hands the size of trash can lids, and he literally comes and gives Harry his letter. And in the movies, I don't remember if it happens in the books, but in the movies, he bends a shotgun. That's how strong he is. So, be his Hagrid. Happy birthday, basically. Oh, by the way, it's July 31st now. So happy birthday, because it turned midnight, and he's like, okay, it's your birthday, you're 11, like, here's your letter. And I will take you to a place called Diagon Alley. I will help you, get your supplies, and I'll help you board the train called the Hogwarts Express to get to Hogwarts. So it's August of 1991 now. He goes to a place called the Leaky Cauldron, a way for witches and wizards from the Muggle world to get into the magical world called Diagon Alley. And Diagon Alley is where the bank is, like where you can get literally everything. Robes, banks, school supplies. There is an ice cream shop there. There's Nocturne Alley, which is just an offshoot, which is the evil little offshoot twin. So Harry gets a ride to the Leaky Cauldron, and he meets Hagrid there. And he also meets a barkeeper named Tom, and he meets Professor Quirrell. This is an important detail, that Professor Quirrell is in the Leaky Cauldron. Harry meets all these people, and he's like, how do I get into Diagon Alley? He learns about Voldemort. Voldemort is also known as he who must not be named, and you know who, because everyone's afraid to say his name or something. He learns about his parents being dead, and apparently the Dursleys told him they died in a car crash because they were driving drunk. That's not true. Hagrid tells Harry the truth, that they were killed by by Voldemort. So somehow, by pressing a certain amount of bricks in a certain order in like this offshoot back of the bar, they get to Diagon Alley. What is super important is that this is where Harry meets Draco Malfoy, and I believe his parents as well. He also gets an owl named Hedwig. We love Hedwig. Hedwig is near and dear in our hearts. He gets a wand. Now, what is super important about Harry's wand is that his wand and Voldemort's wand are brothers. Now, this is not very common in the wizarding world. How do I write that they're brothers? Basically, the phoenix that gave a tail feather to Voldemort's wand also gave a tail feather to Harry's wand, because Voldemort was before Harry's time. He went to school in the 40s. So Harry gets Vernon to drive him to King's Cross Station. Now this is where the trains are, but his ticket that Hagrid gives him that day says platform 9 3/4. Why did I draw that so big? That's terrible. So platform 9 3/4 is, non-existent basically, because Harry looks after Hagrid magically disappears, and he gets lost. He asks a Muggle train conductor, and he's like, "Hey, where's platform 9 3/4?" And he said, the response he gets is, "Are you fucking crazy? There is none." It ends up being between platforms 9 and 10, I believe. And this is where Harry meets the Weasleys. Now, the Weasleys are a very prominent family in Harry's life because they act as family that Harry doesn't have. So, here's Molly Weasley, Arthur Weasley, Ginny, the only girl for her. She's much better in the books than in the movies. Ron, the twins, Fred and George, and I believe at least at this time the only other one is Percy Weasley, who we don't like for most of the books. But there are 2 other brothers. There's Bill and Charlie. I don't remember which one. One of those 2, so either Bill or Charlie, they are a dragon keeper. I don't know. It's one of the 2. One of them is cares for dragons and whatever. So Harry meets Ron here, and they become best friends. Yay. So they meet them on the outside of platform 9 3/4. So between platform 9 and 10 in the Muggle world. And of course, because it's the Weasleys, they have 1,000 children. They're being really loud. So Harry overhears them say platform 9 3/4, and he's like, "Hey, do you guys know about Hogwarts?" So they take him through the wall. It's literally a wall between platforms 9 and 10, and you have to run at it. So, and you'll phase through it. Isn't that great and safe and fun? We'll get to that in the second book. But that is how he meets Ron, his best friend. At this time, the reason Hagrid disappeared earlier is so he could go grab something from, I believe it was Gringotts, or maybe he had already grabbed it from Gringotts. But the Philosopher's Stone, the Sorcerer's Stone, Philosopher's Stone, I will refer to it as both, so don't bully me. And Dumbledore's trying to get it because Voldemort's trying to get it. So it's basically who gets it first? You just saw me flip a marker and not catch it. See, I caught that without even looking. What's going on with me today? They are all on their way to Hogwarts. Yay! Via train. And on the train, this is the first place that we meet Hermione. It's a very brief interaction, but as we see later, it's called the Golden Trio for a reason. We're at Hogwarts. It is 1991. We have arrived, and do you remember McGonagall? Deputy Headmistress McGonagall. She's like, "You guys can't do this, you can't do this, but you'll get sorted into one of 4 houses." So, they will get sorted into Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, I don't remember which is first, Slytherin, and Gryffindor. So this is McGonagall. She's like, "Yeah, you guys will get sorted into one of these 4 houses." How do they get sorted, you may ask? Well, through a hat. I'm serious. There is a magical talking, singing hat that sorts them. Isn't that just so trustworthy? Okay, so you have Harry, Ron, and Hermione, and also Dumbledore. I mentioned him briefly earlier with McGonagall. So, Dumbledore gives this fucking speech, and then your magical talking singing hat called the Sorting Hat sorts you into a house. You get some people going to Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, or Slytherin, but what's really important is that our 3 friends here, they all go into Gryffindor, which is the House of the Brave. So what's really important is that Harry, Mr. Harry Potter here, could have gone into Slytherin, which is historically the house of evil witches and wizards. I'm a Slytherin, but I'm not a witch or wizard, so I can't really tell you. So I'm a Slytherin though. So Harry, the hat is like, dude, you could go into Slytherin. Why don't you go into Slytherin? And Harry, who's already at this point been like geared away from Slytherin because of Ron, he's like, not Slytherin, not Slytherin, and he gets put in Gryffindor. Everyone's like, yay, Harry Potter, oh my gosh, you're my hero, and he's like 11 and nobody really like knows what the fuck they're talking about yet. That is like literally the idea of him being a hero is literally based on what he did as a baby, and he literally says this, I think in both the books and the movie, don't quote me on that. He literally says like, why are people like judging me based on something I did as a baby, not what I have done now? He's actually really sassy in the books, like not like mean. He can be mean, like who can't? But he's like, Z-snap, like that's how sassy he is. He's gives zesty vibes too, at least bisexual. So you'll learn why in the second book. So, yeah, that's the first start of the book. I'm gonna send this to Daytona to edit because I have to go to work now. But this is the start of the book. We have made it to Hogwarts, which is really important. There are important people that get placed into Slytherin, like Draco Malfoy. He is a side character, but he does kind of have a little bit of his own plot. Neville gets placed into Gryffindor. Why? I guess he had a brave heart, but Slytherin is ambition and cunning. Hufflepuff is... And Ravenclaw is, like, wisdom and intellect. I really don't remember what Hufflepuff is. That's so embarrassing. So we made it through the welcoming feast, and that's super exciting. They go to bed, blah, 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 blah. We will continue this another time when I don't have to go to work. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye. I hope I can stop this.